My name is Rachel Thompson, and if someone had told me a year ago that one conversation with my son would completely shift the way I saw him, the way I saw myself, and the decisions I'd make for our future, I probably would have brushed it off with a tired laugh. Life has a way of moving so fast that you hardly notice when things start to fray at the edges until they unravel completely. I never imagined how deeply buried emotions could shape the people we become, and how love, when finally spoken aloud, can rewrite everything we thought we knew. My son, Tyler, had just turned 17. A senior in high school, tall like his dad, with my eyes and that half-smile he used when he didn't want to talk but didn't want to seem rude either. He was always a quiet kid. Smart, thoughtful, but never the type to spill his heart on the table. I assumed it was just the teenage phase, the one all the parenting blogs talk about, the one that makes them retreat into their rooms with headphones and grunts for answers. But lately, the distance between us wasn't just in the words we didn't say, it was in his eyes, in the way he'd flinch slightly when I touched his shoulder, or how he barely touched his food at dinner. I'd ask him how school was, and I'd get the same reply, "It's fine." I'd try to sit next to him during his favorite shows, but he'd disappear into his room the moment I did. It wasn't anger. It wasn't even defiance. It was something colder, something sadder. And that terrified me more than any slammed door ever could. Then one night in November, everything changed. It was a Friday. The kind of evening when the autumn air makes the house feel a little too quiet. I was doing laundry when I heard soft footsteps behind me. I turned around, and there was Tyler, standing awkwardly by the doorway, clutching something in his hands, a small, crumpled envelope. "Hey, Mom," he said quietly, like he wasn't sure he was allowed to speak. I wiped my hands on a towel and faced him fully. "Yeah, honey." He hesitated, staring at the envelope. Then he extended it toward me. "Can you read this?" I didn't know how else to say it. I took it from him, already feeling the weight of what might be inside. My hands shook slightly as I unfolded the letter. His handwriting was a little messy, and the first line stopped my heart. "I don't know who I am anymore." I read every line, every word, every desperate plea scribbled in that letter. He wrote about the confusion he'd been feeling for years, about how he didn't feel like he belonged in his own skin, about the name Tyler not feeling like his, about waking up every day feeling like he was performing a role he never auditioned for. And then, toward the bottom, he wrote, "I think I'm transgender, Mom. I think I'm your daughter, not your son. I'm scared to tell you because I don't want you to hate me." I stood there, tears spilling silently onto the paper, the room suddenly too full of air and not enough all at once. I looked up at him, her, and she looked so scared, so small, like she was about to bolt at the first wrong word. For a moment, I didn't say anything. Not because I was angry. Not because I was in shock. But because I was trying to remember every moment I might have missed. Every time she cried as a child and I told her to man up. Every Halloween costume she wanted to wear but didn't. Every unspoken word that had gotten stuck in her throat because I'd never made it safe enough for her to say. And then, I did something I never thought I would. I walked over and pulled her into my arms. I held her like I had the day she was born, back when I thought I had all the time in the world to get motherhood right. "I love you," I whispered. "No matter what. You're still mine. You're always mine." She collapsed into me, sobbing. All that weight she'd carried, it poured out like floodgates finally opened. I stroked her hair, kissed the top of her head, and whispered over and over, "You're safe. You're safe. You're safe." That night, we stayed up talking. Really talking. Her name was Ava. She'd known since she was 13 but had been too scared to say anything. She told me about the nights she cried herself to sleep, the panic attacks before gym class, the way she'd avoid mirrors and try to bury her feelings in schoolwork or video games. I told her I didn't have all the answers, but that we would figure them out together. The next morning, I made an appointment with a therapist who specialized in gender identity. I bought books. I watched documentaries. I asked questions, sometimes clumsily, but always with love. I let Ava lead. I apologized for every time I'd made her feel like she had to hide. And over time, our home changed. I cleaned out her closet with her, helping her pick out clothes that made her feel like herself. We practiced makeup together, laughing through the smudges and awkward eyeliner lines. I updated the photos on the wall, changing Tyler's name to Ava's with a sticky note at first, and then permanently. When she was ready, I helped her come out to family, teachers, and friends. Not everyone understood. Some said hurtful things. But I stood by her, shielded her, fought for her in every way a mother could. One day, we were walking through a department store and Ava saw a dress she liked. She hesitated before reaching for it. I nudged her gently. "Try it on," I said. She did. And when she stepped out of the dressing room, cheeks flushed, eyes wide, I saw her. Really saw her. Not a version of who I thought she was, but the person she was always meant to be. "You look beautiful," I told her. And I meant it. Months passed. Ava blossomed. Her laughter came easier. Her eyes sparkled again. She joined the LGBTQ+ club at school. She started writing poetry. She even went to prom in a soft lavender gown, her hair curled just so, holding hands with a sweet girl named Riley who looked at her like she hung the moon. And me. I changed, too. I started speaking at parent groups. I told our story. I helped other moms and dads understand what it means to love unconditionally. I made mistakes, sure. But I learned. And every time I stumbled, Ava would gently guide me forward. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sun set, Ava turned to me. "Thank you for choosing me," she said softly. I took her hand. "Thank you for trusting me." And in that moment, I realized something. I hadn't just accepted my daughter. I had become a better mother, a better person, because of her. The road ahead wasn't perfect. There were still challenges. But there was love, loud, fierce, unwavering love. The kind that doesn't just accept who someone is but celebrates them. My daughter opened up and I did something I never thought I would. I opened up too. And together, we started again.